Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andy Sims, and I'm the chair of the Alberta Order of Excellence Council. I'd like to welcome you to the 2017 Alberta Order of Excellence Investiture Ceremony. Would you please rise for the entrance of Her Honour, the Honourable Lois Mitchell, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta and Chancellor of our Alberta Order of Excellence, and His Honour, Honorary Colonel and member of the Order, Doug Mitchell. I'd also ask that you please remain standing through both the Vice-Regal Salute and the invocation to follow, and it's customary to refrain from singing during the Vice-Regal Salute while it's being played. I'll now invite the Honourable Catherine A. Fraser, the Chief Justice of Alberta, to offer the invocation.
Your Honours, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to honour 8 remarkable Albertans. People do things for the greater good in different ways. Some build ideas, some build things, and some build people. Inspiration is precious. For those that have it, there is nothing they cannot do. Those who inspire others are equally precious because this glorious gift is given to only a few. Each Albertan we honor today is most assuredly in this category. You will soon learn how these 8 citizens have made an extraordinary difference in our world. They've dedicated their lives in service to their communities and in bringing people together. Their combined accomplishments, which will astound you, will never be diminished by the passage of time. May we be inspired by these leaders to learn how to care for our own communities, commit to lifelong learning, be global citizens and agents for change, and continue to work together towards a stronger, more positive future for all. In recognition of the various values, beliefs, and faith traditions represented here today, I invite you to share in silent reflection to express gratitude in your own personal way. Peace to you all.
Thank you, Chief Justice Fraser, for those words and for participating in today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good afternoon, Your Honours. Chief Justice, Mr. Speaker, Honourable Ministers, MLA Shepherd, members of the Alberta Order of Excellence, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Today we're privileged to be here in the heart of Edmonton. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 6 territory. It's also the historical, traditional meeting ground for many of the Indigenous people of our area. I believe that ceremony and dignified celebration are called for when citizens receive a high honour such as the Alberta Order of Excellence. And the Alberta Order of Excellence is the highest honour a province can bestow on a citizen. It is part of Canada's national honours system. Since the Order was created in 1979, just 165 people have been chosen for membership. and that includes the 8 remarkable Albertans we celebrate today. Those 8 have been chosen from a population that's approaching 3.5 million people. It is a high honor and a rare honor. This year is particularly special because it is the 150th anniversary of Confederation, a significant point in our history when disparate colonies came together to begin building one great nation. It has already been a year of both celebration and of reflection. Looking back on our nation's history, and we must not forget that stretches back far longer than 150 years, we see that individuals have always had the chance to make a difference in Canada. In every era, brave men and women have made exceptional choices to reach outside the boundaries of conventional thinking, to comprehend the experience of others, and to refuse to accept that things cannot be better than they are. These people have always been an inspiration to others. Today, here at Government House, Alberta's ceremonial home, we're celebrating men and women like these. The recipients of the Alberta Order of Excellence have dedicated their lives to seeking hope, justice, understanding, consolation, and opportunity for their communities. In a word, they have sought and achieved excellence. By celebrating these individuals today, we are encouraging all Albertans to explore the lives and accomplishments of our province's most remarkable citizens. Collectively and individually, the members of the Alberta Order of Excellence are a tremendous source of pride for the province. I know that my fellow council members who are with us here share that pride and are dedicated to enhancing the Order, that it becomes the members of the Order, it's because the members of the Order inspire and motivate us all to share the best of ourselves as active and engaged citizens. It's my privilege to work with my colleagues on the Order of Excellence Council. They are Sharon Carey of Cochrane, Barry Finkelman of Medicine Hat, Bridget Henniga of Grand Prairie, Patty McLeod of Calgary, and Rochelle Venn of Edmonton. It's been my further privilege to work with our Executive Director, Gail Stannard, who provides the Council with its administrative support, but who, well beyond that, serves as the Order's informal den mother. You will all get to know Gail very well, and also the repository of our institutional memory. Recognition, too, must go to our Chancellor, the Honourable Lois Mitchell, our Lieutenant Governor. Hers is a very busy, demanding position, but she has nonetheless found time to be a very active participant in and a very strong supporter of the Alberta Order of Excellence. Personally, and on behalf of the Council, I thank you for your unfailing support. My fellow AOE Council members will have the pleasure of introducing each of our inductees shortly. I know that they are looking forward to sharing their stories. To lead us in these introductions is the Lieutenant Governor and Chancellor of the Alberta Order of Excellence, Her Honour, the Honourable Lois Mitchell. Before she comes up, I would like you to take notice of the beautiful chain Her Honour is wearing. This is the Chancellor's chain of the Order, and it's making its public debut today. And all sorts of fuss to make sure it gets straight. Sorry, did I say that? I wasn't supposed to say that. This chain was created as a gift from the Alberta Order of Excellence Council and the members to the Chancellor in honour of Canada's 150th anniversary of Confederation. The chain is made up of the shield of the Arms of Alberta, topped with a crown, and the full-size Alberta Order of Excellence medal in the middle. The chain itself is a maple leaf surrounded by wheat sheaf, which is on the back of the AOE medals that you'll see later, miniature AOE medals, and the floral emblem of the wild rose. Your Honour.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to mention, it's not mine, by the way. Just so to clarify that. But a lot of work went into it. And so thank you so much, Gail. I know how much effort went into this. And thank you, Andy. I'm always so pleased when we talk about being on Treaty 6 land. I'm not going to say any more. I will just say one thing, though. What a wonderful privilege it is for all of us to be able to gather in this beautiful government house. It was built in 1913. And I just want you to know that if you have any chance at all to visit some of these magnificent rooms that holds over 200 contemporary artists, that's truly worth your visit. And if you don't get a chance today, you do come back and see it because it really takes your breath away. I will mention this particular room, this particular Alberta room was finished in actually 1976 because it had to be renovated from 71 to 5 years it took to renovate Government House. And so we appreciate so much. I do want to say that. Appreciate very much the wonderful happenings that go on here. It is truly used a great deal. And we're just so appreciative that we have this beautiful, beautiful Government House. So good afternoon to everyone. And I will say that it is a very honor to share this special day with some truly extraordinary Albertans, and I want to say their families and their friends, and you know what? Especially like seeing young adults here. That's even more special for me. So I'm very glad to see that. Yes, it is my sincere pleasure to be the first guardian. This is just the guardian of this new Chancellor chain of the Order. I am very honored to wear it on behalf of all the members of the Alberta Order of Excellence. And it's really in recognition of everything that you people, and I know there are some other from previous years Order of Excellent people here, and it's really, it's the recognition of everything that you people have collectively given to our province, but actually to our country. It's amazing to look at the sum total of our members' contributions over the years. That's one thing it's fun for me to do. I love history. I like to go way back and look. And I have to say that the members, they reach into virtually every region, sector, and field of endeavor in Alberta. The 8 individuals being invested here today are certainly adding their own very important chapters to that collective history. You have demonstrated your great sense of compassion in your efforts to reduce poverty, ensure peace, reconciliation, and social justice for all members of our society. You've shared your passion for active living, and you've shown us all how even sports can foster wellness and bring us together as a community. You've also used your tremendous skills and vision to strengthen the health of our fellow Albertans and Canadians, and actually, in fact, to people around the world. You've worked to ensure that young Albertans and learners of all ages get to experience the transformative power of education. Above all, our wonderful new members of the Alberta Order of Excellence have applied the best of their energy to the work of building strong, building diverse, vibrant, prosperous, and welcoming communities where all people can live their dreams. You're true heroes, you are, and your stories will inspire us all to reach a little bit further into our own efforts to be of service to others. So congratulations, and thank you, Steve Allen, Gary Bowie, Anne Fanning, Marie Gordon, Steve Reddy. What happened? Oh, Steve, where are you, Steve? Oh, how did that go out of order? Steve, Jim Holland, I'm going to call you Jim. It says James, but I know you're Jim. Oh, Vivian Mansack and David Workland. I've always been a very proud Albertan, but events like this make me truly stop and give thanks for the remarkable people who make our province such a special place to call home. Thank you, and enjoy this great day of celebration.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I'd like to now call on Council Member Patty McLeod to introduce our first recipient.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am so pleased to recommend J. Stevens Allen for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. When one thinks of an accountant, often it conjures up an image of a numbers person, focused on the bottom line, making sure the dollars and cents add up. For Steve Allen, however, accounting was always more than just the numbers. Behind each input, Steve sees an organization that's central to the community or an individual in need. Steve's professional judgment has been entrusted with some of the most sensitive situations in Alberta's corporate history and in the financial lives of Albertans. His work on insolvency files include Abacus Cities Limited, Principal Group Limited, Canadian Airlines, Briex, and many others. A proud lifelong Calgarian, Steve's career as an accountant and his incredibly generous record as a volunteer have made him a connector in the community, bringing people and opportunities together for incredible results. His forensic accounting skills have seen him called on countless times as an expert witness in criminal and civil court proceedings. Steve's professional contributions, whether part of his regular work or as part of his giving back to the community, have put him at the center of Calgary's identity. Let me provide you a few examples you may have heard of that give some insight into how Steve is weaved into the Calgary community. He helped to restructure the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra, part of a re-engagement effort that saved it from dissolution. His expertise helped the Stampeders Football Club through their highly publicized restructuring in 1986. He helped restructure the Banff World Television Festival, now the Banff World Media Festival, and Steve has been intimately involved with the success of the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede for over 40 years. Now, as head of Calgary Economic Development, Steve has seen the organization through a cultural shift in the wake of the decline in oil prices and sees Calgary primed to benefit from its smart workforce, the youngest in the country. He remains active with the Calgary Stampede Foundation and the McMahon Stadium Society, serves as board vice chair, oh boy, I don't know how to say this, Nayaskwayak, thank you, trust of the Ermineskin Cree Nation, and as a governor of the University of Calgary. If accounting is indeed the language of business, Steve Allen has spoken it with rare passion, dedication, and flair. He has used its vocabulary to illuminate the big picture and to express the noblest of ideas. Steve is a leader, a mentor, a connector, and a visionary, and he has made a profound difference to his community. And for this exceptional service, it is my honor on behalf of the Council to name my friend J. Stevens Allen as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll get your medal.
Thank you. Congratulations, Steve. I now call upon Board Member Barry Finkelman to introduce the next recipient.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Gary W. Bowie for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. To be an effective coach, teacher, or mentor, one requires a sense of optimism, a belief that one can inspire the best in another. Gary Bowie held strongly to this belief throughout his life and remains a man invested in the future of others. As a physical education professor, Gary saw sport as a means to champion values of strong, healthy people and strong, healthy community. Born in Claresholm, Gary studied at Brigham Young University, at Washington State University, and later at the University of Utah, where he gained his PhD in health, physical education, and recreation. Gary began his career as an educator in 1962 at Lethbridge Junior College and became one of the original faculty members when the University of Lethbridge was founded 5 years later. Gary spent 30 years at the university in a host of roles. Through Gary's guidance, the University of Lethbridge Pronghorns became champions on every level of competition. And as exciting as these competitions were, Gary always encouraged good citizenship among his players. Gary's public profile as athletic director for both the college and the university and as a community coach provided the opportunity for him to connect with and contribute to an extraordinary array of public organizations. Among many others, they include the board of the 1975 Lethbridge Canada Winter Games, the Lethbridge Public School Board, the 100th Anniversary Committee for the City of Lethbridge, the City of Lethbridge Committee on the Hard to Serve, the Lethbridge Public Library, and most recently, the Executive Leaders Coalition on Opioid Use. Perhaps Gary's most prominent contribution to community is his continuing role as chair of the Social Housing in Action Committee. Under Gary's leadership, the committee, working with community partners, has reduced homelessness in Lethbridge by 67%. Well, Gary's concern for community started early as part of his upbringing in the Mormon Church. His spirituality compelled him to serve, to be compassionate about people and community, and inclusive of all. Gary Bowie has called on the power of his optimism in the shaping of young lives, in the realization of new possibilities for the community, and in the determination to face age-old challenges and make a difference. In his many leadership roles, he's been a successful champion of a better future. In recognition of his exceptional service, it is my honor on behalf of the Council to name Gary W. Bowie as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
And go Pronghorns. Congratulations, Gary. I now invite my colleague, Council Member Bridget Henniger, to introduce the next two inductees.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Anne Fanning Binder for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. The term citizen of the world may imply a life of international travel and a sense of being at home no matter the country. For Dr. Anne Fanning Binder, it is also the realization that we are all connected and owe a sense of responsibility to all humanity. Anne Fanning is a global citizen. Anne has made community health in her life's work as a tuberculosis specialist in Alberta and the North, a professor of medicine at the University of Alberta, and a dedicated advocate for better global health. Born in London, Ontario, Anne studied medicine at the University of Western Ontario, then moved to Edmonton with her husband, Mel. As a young physician and mother in the early 1970s, Anne took on a part-time position at the Aberhart Hospital, working with tuberculosis patients. It was there that Anne learned about the socioeconomic factors driving and perpetuating tuberculosis. She saw how the disease targeted marginalized people and noted that as many as 1/2 of the patients at the Aberhart were Indigenous people from small, remote communities. Anne has been part of the University of Alberta's Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, their Division of Infectious Diseases, since 1972. Her international perspective led her to create a global health program that gives U of A medical students the experience of working outside of Canada and to broaden their experience of patients within Canada. In 1987, the province appointed Anne Director of Tuberculosis Services for Alberta, a position she held until 1995. Anne's work has drawn her into the community of international experts fighting TB and inspired her global citizenship. Anne has worked as a medical officer with the World Health Organization and has been an active member of the International Union Against Tuberculosis and Lung Disease for 3 decades. Her concern for the unique health issues of Indigenous people led her to help create a program to ensure positions in the U of A's medical school for Indigenous students each year. Formerly retired in 2005, Anne remains an adjunct professor in the Department of Public Health Sciences and a crusader, continuing to fight the tragic misconception that tuberculosis is a disease of the past. Working with TB has demonstrated to Anne that the course of a disease can be affected significantly by what happens in the world around it. Anne remains active in helping to increase the awareness of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and remains dedicated to eradicating TB through supporting the world's most poor and marginalized and ensuring access to life-saving services. In recognition of her exceptional service, it is my honor on behalf of Council to name Anne Fanning Binder as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
I recognize myself.
Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Marie L. Gordon for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Women's rights are human rights. A society that improves justice for women improves justice for all. This is a truth Marie Gordon advanced throughout her career. As a lawyer, educator, author, and activist, Marie Gordon has dedicated her life to helping others achieve justice, fairness, and dignity in the sphere of family law. Marie was part of a wave of female law students in the mid-1970s, daughters of a new feminist consciousness who would change the legal landscape in Canada. Marie's interest in the law came from a desire to see social justice achieved on a broad scale. She was drawn to family law, specifically the legal problems associated with the breakdown of marriage. For Marie, it was a unique opportunity to use her knowledge of legal theory as a means of making people's lives better. In a legal career of nearly 4 decades and a lifetime of community engagement, Marie has been a tireless advocate for women and families. She has been instrumental in achieving major legal reforms in Alberta and Canada. 2 stand out: the Protection and Restraining Order Project, which allows a simpler process for filing restraining orders, a lifeline for families caught in urgent and abusive situations. The other is the development of the Spousal Support Advisory Guidelines, which helps judges to decide reasonable levels of spousal support. The guidelines have led to higher support levels and lower support-related court costs across Canada. Marie has shared her wisdom with others as a teacher at Athabasca University and the University of Alberta. Marie was instrumental in starting the Family Law Affair, which promotes an understanding of family law practice for students. She has always been active in community legal organizations, including the Edmonton Community Legal Centre, the Canadian Research Institute for Law and the Family, the Women's Legal Education and Action Fund, the Legal Education Society of Alberta, and numerous others. Her tireless commitment to women's legal equality and family well-being have made many lives happier and more peaceful, while elevating the profile and practice of family law in Canada. Thanks to her vision and hard work, Marie Gordon has had the very rare privilege of seeing things change for the better and knowing that she has played a key role. In recognition of her exceptional service, it is my honor on behalf of the Council to name Marie L. Gordon as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Congratulations. Rochelle Venn to give the introduction to our next nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend the Reverend James L. Holland for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Great. As Canadians, we are challenged by the need for reconciliation with our country's Indigenous peoples. Father Jim has been practicing reconciliation every day in his heart, in his words and actions for a generation. For more than 2 decades as pastor of Sacred Heart Church of the First Peoples in Edmonton, Father Jim's great humanity has made him a trusted leader to his parish congregation and well beyond. Jim was born in Wayne County, North Carolina. From an early age, he sought his own path. It led him to explore the world well beyond his home, eventually bringing him to Canada. He traveled spiritually as well, from his Southern Baptist roots to the Catholic Church. With a business school background in accounting and management, Jim worked over the course of 2 decades in Vancouver, Yellowknife, and Whitehorse. In the 1990s, having considered a religious vocation for a number of years, he joined the Oblates of Mary Immaculate to train for the priesthood. He was ordained at the age of 52 in 1995 at Lac St. Anne. Jim's first assignment was Sacred Heart, an Edmonton inner-city church that had been declared a First Nations, Métis, and Inuit parish just a few years before. Jim used his business experience to improve the church's crumbling building and failing finances. At the same time, he set out to build a community. That community can be seen in Sacred Heart's blend of Indigenous symbolism and traditional Catholic imagery. Mass begins with a smudging ceremony and is seen as a sacred circle, where all are welcome as members of a family. Sacred Heart is a place for Indigenous people to practice the Catholic faith in their own cultural terms. It has become a place of community support, acceptance, and strength. Father Jim has gone beyond his pastoral duties by volunteering with such organizations as the Boyle Macaulay Health Centre, Macaulay Community League, George Spady Society, and others. He has become a community elder, highly respected by Catholics and non-Catholics, Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, community activists, business people, and society's leaders. Father Jim's concept of a community is Catholic in the original sense of the word, all-embracing. In the family of Sacred Heart, all are welcome, all are part of the whole, each one is everyone. In recognition of his exceptional service, it is my honor, on behalf of the Council, to name James L. Holland as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Congratulations, Father Jim Holland. I'll now invite Patty back to the podium to introduce Dr. Steve Harudi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend Steve E. Harudi for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. In a land of plenty like Alberta, it is easy to take the availability and safety of water for granted. Dr. Steve Harudi has dedicated his life's work to making sure that we never learn the hard way just how lucky we are. As an environmental engineer, Steve has always pursued scientific excellence for himself and for others. His distinguished career as an internationally renowned researcher in environmental health sciences has allowed him to contribute to global understanding of drinking water safely. Steve was born in Edmonton and educated at the University of Alberta and at the University of London. Steve joined the faculty of the University of Alberta in the Department of Civil Engineering in 1975 and later moved to the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry's Department of Public Health Sciences. In his career, Steve's best opportunities to advance his research have come from solving problems in the real world. He was part of an expert panel that investigated potential carcinogens in Edmonton's drinking water in 1985. In 2000, after a deadly outbreak of pathogenic E. coli in Walkerton, Ontario, Steve was named to the research advisory panel for the resulting inquiry. Over the years, he has contributed to no less than 25 expert panels, including panels on First Nations drinking water and on the environmental and health impacts of oil sands industries. Steve was a founder of the Canadian Water Network and continues to work with this national organization. He served for 13 years on the Alberta Environmental Appeals Board, helping to meet the board's mandate of natural justice by ensuring fair and equal treatment to all parties in appeals. He also served as the president of the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Alberta. Although retired, Steve remains active as Professor Emeritus in Analytical and Environmental Toxicology at the U of A and was recently appointed a director for the Canadian Parks and Wilderness Society. Steve has been prolific with his commitment to public service through his contributions to science. He has shared his knowledge and experience extensively through publications, most notably in co-writing with his wife Elizabeth 2 books on ensuring safe drinking water. Steve Harudi has always been empowered by the human dimension of his research. For him, microscopic readings of parts per million are best expressed in their assurance of safety and quality in people's lives. In recognition of his exceptional service, it is my honor on behalf of the Council to name Steve E. Harudi as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Congratulations. I'll recall Barry Finkelman to introduce our next nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I'm pleased to recommend Vivian Manask for membership in the Alberta Order of Excellence. Most Albertans today live in urban environments that are overwhelmingly human-designed. Vivian Manask believes that exceptional architectural design can express our best selves, unite us across cultures, and place us more in tune with the natural world. Vivian Manask was born in Romania and moved to Montreal with her family when she was a young girl. Now, it was in Canada's north that Vivian cut her architectural teeth, designing public buildings and schools in the Northwest Territories and the Yukon that were truly unique to the surroundings. Vivian responded to the rigors of the climate and to the needs and wishes of the communities where her buildings were built. Vivian's enthusiasm for Indigenous ways of knowing and designing has allowed her to produce buildings that are truly original while embracing the cultural legacy of their communities. Architecture is said to be the most public of the arts, a concept that Vivian embraces wholeheartedly. She enlists the help of those who will use and live alongside her projects, admirers and critics alike. Vivian is an adjunct professor of architecture at the University of Calgary. Vivian's belief in making architectural education more accessible saw her partner with the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada and Athabasca University to create an online course that now enjoys the largest enrollment of any architectural school in Canada. Manask Isaac, the firm that Vivian co-founded, is known for buildings that are innovative and cutting edge, yet with the timeless quality of excellent design. They're also known for creating a revolutionary workplace of the future through on-site gardens, a chef, a music room with a house band, a yoga studio, and a green transportation policy that includes bus passes and an office car. She's the first Alberta architect to open an office in the European Union, Bucharest to be exact, showing that architecture can be an Alberta export. Vivian has been a champion of sustainable design practices. She co-founded the Alberta Sustainable Building Symposium, helped found the Canada Green Building Council, and helped bring LEED, that's Leadership in Engineering and Environmental Design, rating to Canada. Vivian has served on many community organizations, including Edmonton's Economic Development Board, and she currently serves on the National Capital Commission's Design Advisory Committee and is chair of the Board of Governors of Athabasca University. By investing herself completely in the who, the what, the where, and the why of everything she builds, Vivian Manask has brought beauty and functionality to new heights of excellence in Alberta and has offered unique wisdom to the architectural world. In recognition of her exceptional service, it is my great honor, on behalf of the Council, to name Vivian Manask as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Congratulations. I'll now call my colleague Sharon Carey to introduce our last inductee.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Council, I am pleased to recommend David P. Workland for the Alberta Order of Excellence. David Workland exemplifies the creative imagination and visionary perspective of an entrepreneur. For him, business, like life, has always been about the pursuit of excellence. Born near Valley View, right up near Grand Prairie, David's upbringing on the family farm taught him his first fundamental lessons in business: hard work, teamwork, honesty, fair play, and innovation. As a young man, David got into the oil business, first as a rig worker, then as a production operator, always with an eye on doing things better. He went out on his own, building and founding a succession of successful businesses: Dave's Oil Field Service, Concord Well Servicing, and Canadian Crude Separators. Ultimately, he united his growing number of companies under the banner of Tervita Corporation, and David remains active in Tervita and is working on other new endeavors. Part of David's commitment to excellence has been his dedication to environmental responsibility. David's maxim, protecting the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the ground we walk on, has pushed him to develop practices in his oil field business that not only exceeded, but often set industry standards. David expressed that commitment again recently with support for the Waldron Conservation Project by the Nature Conservancy of Canada. I knew I was going to stumble over that one. It will preserve a habitat of incredible beauty and diversity in the southern foothills along the eastern slopes of the Rockies. While success in business has meant to David that he has an opportunity to encourage excellence in the community. In 2006, he created the Workland Foundation, whose mission is to transform communities by inspiring youth to achieve their full potential. And one of his proudest accomplishments is creating Empowering Minds, whose mission is to provide youth and educators innovative programs that develop confidence, resiliency, and focus to thrive in today's world. A great believer in public education, David made a record donation to the University of Calgary, the largest donation ever received by an education faculty in Canada. David and his wife, Susan Norman, made another historic donation to Olds College to help create the Workland Agriculture Institute to develop leadership in sustainable agriculture. Aspiring to his own high definition of success in business has allowed David Workland to stand out as an entrepreneur. By converting his success into opportunities for others in education, the arts, and charitable causes, he has given his life a nobility of purpose and claimed his place as a person of transformative integrity. In recognition of his exceptional service, it is my honor and pride, on behalf of the Council, to name David P. Workland as a member of the Alberta Order of Excellence.
Thank you, Sharon. Sure you're too quite finished? Or... Okay, sign the book. Only two. One is fifth grade. That's terrible. Congratulations. Thank you to all the council members for introducing just a remarkable collection of 8 persons representing the best in our province. Congratulations to you all. You're very distinguished citizens who've now joined the ranks of the Alberta Order of Excellence. The Alberta Order of Excellence is with you for life. It is an order. There are members. There's been a total of 165, but this is not merely an award that passes. It is a membership in an order that represents Alberta's very best. I think these introductions that you've just heard reinforce an important aspect of the Alberta Order. These inductees are not mere fireworks who've made one brief flash-in-the-sky contribution. They are all beacons who have shone and guided others during significant portions of their adult lives. They've each given of themselves to others, to the community, and to the world in a sustained way. They have served in the highest meaning of the term service. Before we conclude, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the passing this year of some great Albertans who were members of the Order. They include this year Sandy McTaggart, very colorful member of the Order since 1998, and Griffin Lloyd, who's been a member since 1912. And I'd ask that we observe for a moment of silence to remember these great citizens and to honor all of those AOE members who are no longer with us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes the ceremonial portion of today's program. I'll ask you to stand for the singing, we do get to sing this time, of our national anthem played by Ancora. After O Canada, I invite everyone to proceed to the second floor for a pre-dinner reception. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we seemly rise, a true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard to thee.